says we're live, but it still says setting up meeting. So direct to YouTube. Boom. Done. There we go.
Phil, how do I split screen on my Mac?
I don't know anymore. Things have changed. There should be a thing in the top right hand corner that says view. And you should change it to gallery view.
No, I was meaning, how do I split screen between?
There we go. Oh, you got YouTube on, huh? Oh, you just make the two windows small and you can put one side by side. Hi, regular fans. This is the usual start of the Phil and Phil show while we work out the physical plane of the computer technology world of stuff.
Oh, man.
You don't have to worry about this when you're in the woods. You just go, I'm in the woods. This is it. There's nothing to... There is no time. There is only the trees.
Yeah, I've got a job to do. I can't do both of mine at once, Phil, for some reason here.
Oh, well.
Oh, there is a way to do it, but now's not the time for me to sit and work it out. Sorry, guys.
Well, I'm Phil.
And I'm Phil.
And here we are on another episode of the Phil and Phil show.
Welcome, everybody. Sorry for the little bit of chaos. We've just been having once again, another technical issue, which we seem to get lots of those. And so hence we're a little bit late setting up. And then
I got my ridiculous glasses on.
And I've got my ridiculous glasses on.
You've got two pairs of glasses on.
That's true, actually. I do have two pairs of glasses. And I'll tell you what, it's so much better with these ones on.
I don't know. These are just weird love glasses, but they are tinted. So
are they your rose tinted spectacles, Phil?
They're just love glasses. That's it.
I think Phil's got on his rose coloured spectacles tonight.
Yep. I'm seeing the world through my rose tinted glasses.
And I'm seeing the world through my amber tinted glasses.
Okay. Say hi to Molly. Hi, Molly.
Hey, Molly.
So what's going on?
So, at last, guys, we've made it. I went downstairs just now for about 6:30 to have some food, and my mum said, "What time are you doing the show tonight?" And I was like, "Oh shit, we've got a show. We've got a show to do." So I quickly made
Wendy's coming in.
So I quickly made my salad and then came upstairs to find that actually we had a little bit of a broadcasting issue, shall we say? So once again, Phil and I started. We had a little chat because we often have a little chat before at the beginning and the end of the show, just to kind of connect in with each other. And we started talking about stuff, and all of a sudden it's like, this is a show. Let's just get on air. So we've just got to learn to get on air, because actually, when we are offline, so to speak, just one-on-one, there's amazing stuff just actually starts to come through, just because of the nature of the questions we ask each other. This is what we do when we chat. We inevitably one of us asks each other the question, and it's like, wow, actually, that's really great information. So Phil started playing around with his lovely glasses on, and I'm like, yeah, do the show and I'll get mine on. Although these aren't actually funny, silly glasses. These are actually amber anti-blue light glasses, which really I should have been wearing all through the winter, but I wasn't. And I've just realized now, doing the show with them on, that actually it really makes a difference to my eyes, because I've got this light in front of me to light me up, so I can be seen better on camera.
Mm-hmm.
And that's an LED light with diffusers on, but it's still, right in my face. So actually, these glasses, I should have put them on months ago.
Yeah, I wonder if that inhibits you. It makes you more awake and then harder to go to sleep. Because if you're staring, if you got that white light, a blue light coming into your eyes when you do a show late at night, kind of might stimulate you a little bit.
It doesn't affect me going to sleep, but I'm sure it affects the quality of my sleep. I mean, I just go, I go to bed and within 10 minutes I'm asleep, even if I, because even the lights in the house tend to be LED or halogen. And even halogen bulbs give off I don't know how much blue light, but they definitely give off blue light. And I don't find I have any problem going to sleep. Whatever, I just go to sleep. But I'm sure I'm trying to think now, so much is blue light, even down to
and LEDs put off a lot of blue light, so they're said to be not good for the eyes. So yeah, I mean, it's hard to know.
Absolutely. Even I was just thinking, even when I'm in the van, when I was doing that fast, I use a torch in the van, and actually thinking about it, that's LED. So
what we did at the facility is we got some LEDs on because it's like it avoids having in the production rooms, but we got ones that are just they're filtered, so they're like they give off a little bit more of a yellow glow, so they got kind of a filter on there, so they're a little softer. These bright LEDs are just so intense. They're not, it's not blue light protected, but it's softer and it doesn't feel as intense as some of those really bright LEDs.
Yeah, so I think in England we have white light and soft light, and I think what for nearly all of our bulbs actually. So I think what you're talking about there, Phil, is what we would call soft light LEDs. So a bit more. Go ahead.
No, what we're doing at home, and I think I don't know if I mentioned this before, but we got some red bulbs, and we have some of those around the house. So at nighttime, so we can we want to get up and go pee or whatever we can see, but we don't need to put, like Susan likes to put a light on. I'm like, I can't, don't put these lights on. So we got some red lights so we can have those at night, and it's actually really nice, like lasting at night. You just have the red light on, and it's really calming.
Well, how about Himalayan crystal lamps? That have got a bulb and soak, because
absolutely, yeah,
because they're going to give off because actually LED lights inside the Himalayan crystal salts don't work because you need a certain amount of warmth to actually activate the crystal salts. So in there, if you've got a little 25-watt bulb inside the little cave, it encourages a bit of warmth. But also you've got that, and it's going to be an element of blue light, isn't it? But then because you've got that, it filters through the quartz. So actually, for a light to get up in the night, probably a Himalayan crystal lamp salt is going to be a really good thing, isn't it?
Yeah, it's nice. But then like at nighttime, so if you're chilling out, like in the living room or something, like a red light in the corner is nice too. So it's very calming.
Just not in the window, Phil. Not in the window.
Well, we have a few people stop by, but tell them the wrong house. Sorry.
Wrong house, buddy.
It's not the red light zone.
So this morning I went to Stand in the Park. Do they have Stand in the Parks in the States, Phil?
I'm going to check it out because I've heard it's like a really big movement. I was watching Gareth Ike on an interview, and he was interviewing the lady who started it, and she started it, and she was like, oh, no one's going to show up, and it was like first time event, barely any promotions, like 26 people, and now it's like every weekend, right?
Yeah, us lot we meet, there's a site called the Rollright Stones, and it's a sacred site. There's a few close to me, but I choose Rollright Stones. It's not that close, it's a 20-25 minute drive, but it's an ancient site. So I would rather go and meet at an ancient site than meet in a town, right? That's me. So today I took my drum, and at the end of the meeting I went over to the King's Stone and drums. I'm starting to practice my shamanic drumming again now. And it was beautiful just to go and sit and drum in a sacred place as opposed to drumming in the house or in the garden or whatever. And so yeah, but so there people that maybe don't know about Stand in the Park It happens every Sunday. It's between in the UK it's between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. But I got there today about 10:30 and left at about 1:30. And it was kind of like two groups today. One group was talking about the conspiracy and the practical side of it, and and what's going on. Then the group that I was involved with, we were talking about raw food. Of course we were. We were talking about fasting, juicing, water quality. Victor Schauberger came up, Callum Coates came up.
Nice.
And then this woman was talking about there's 4 stages of water. I can't quite get to the bottom of what she was talking about, but really, it was like, oh, do I know about this?
Well, there's one stage that we don't often talk about. So we've got the steam, the liquid, the ice, but it's the stage that we don't talk about. It's like the plasma level, right? So it's kind of like this. It's kind of like the water in the body. Like if we cut our body, like you would think all this water would flood out, but it doesn't because it's in this other state. And it's like in the plant, you cut a plant, and generally it doesn't just leak out. Like it's in this different form, like almost like jelly, like it looks like silica. Like
that's basically that's what she was talking about.
Yeah. So it's a different form of water that's not often talked about. So
cool. Actually, now you've said that, Phil, I need to get some Phil and Phil show cards made up. I need to.
Yes.
Because when I'm at these events, it's a really useful thing to be able to, promote this show.
I think Stand in the Park. I think what it was, this lady's from Australia, so it started in Australia, actually, and I think what it is just like people like feeling alone, like feeling they're the only people talking about this stuff, and then they start to get out to these events, and it's like, oh, wow, there's other people talking about raw food and water and Schauberger, and it really is very strengthening. So you're not out there even like I think like you're not out there doing really even protesting. You're just connecting with like-minded people, and in that you're creating this vortex of energy that creates.
Absolutely, and today, for example, some guy came with wholemeal bread and cheese. Every day he makes a biscuit tin of, not every day, every Sunday he comes, he makes a biscuit tin of cheese and pickle wholemeal rolls. I took a box of homemade raw cookies. So there's starting to become this sharing where people are sharing products. I thought, oh, that's cool. So yesterday I was experimenting yesterday making raw fresh coconut cream.
Oh, nice.
I made it and it's incredible. And I made it from the old brown coconuts.
Oh,
so it's actually proper coconut cream. It's not whipped up young coconut meat. It's actually the coconut cream. So because I had coconut pulp left over from experimenting making the coconut cream, first time ever, but actually it's just like, oh man, it's heaven. So I had this coconut pulp and I thought, what am I going to do with that? And then I had a load of carrot pulp left from making juice. So I made carrot and coconut pulp cookies. And they were
very nice.
They're pretty good. I've got coconut. When you've defatted the coconut, like I did there to make the coconut cream, they become quite drying. So having never made coconut pulp before and never used coconut pulp, I didn't know, but it's a little bit like coconut flour. So it's, even though it's still quite moist, it's incredibly drying. So you don't need too much of it. Yeah. And I didn't video making coconut cream. I will do now. I've made it. I took some photographs of the process. So I need to do a little video of making coconut cream. It's actually dead easy. It is dead easy, but it's also a process.
So so you're eating again, huh?
Oh yeah. I would like to say I've eased into eating, but I don't think I've eased in really. I need to make a video of that, Phil, as well. The whole transitioning from nothing to juice to smoothies to food. Yeah, very, very interesting journey.
Sorry, I gotta plug this in here. So
you're on the laptop or the phone now?
the phone.
So part of our challenge at the moment is Phil's got a phone, which of course you can do some things on, and then he's got a desktop which you can do other things on. So we were trying to figure out how to do exactly what we're doing now, and it seems to be trickier on the phone than it does on the desktop.
Yeah, I just can't get the gallery view. That's the pain in the butt on the phone. Everything else is good on the phone except gallery view.
Oh, okay. I thought
So,
you
like,
couldn't go. I thought you couldn't go live on YouTube on the phone.
Well, no, I went to the computer and that they go live thing that used to be there wasn't there. So I'm just wondering whether it was conflicting with this one. So I got to look into it. So
But I didn't have it on my desktop either.
yeah, I'm wondering if because I signed on first, it was just on that first login. It's just something was weird.
Yeah.
So how you feeling? You broke your fast. You're back into eating.
Yeah, broke my fast. Started my first salad Thursday night. I think I had a salad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, actually, yeah, the salad was fine. It went down really well. Didn't have any issues with it at all. Didn't overeat. So yeah, that was good.
Am I making you dizzy?
Yeah, you're making me a little bit wobbly woo.
But just don't look at it too much. I just gotta change the setup here so I don't have to hold on to the phone. I got a little thing here that I can put it on.
Phil, the dog's looking all abandoned. Marley's looking all abandoned, mate.
Hey, Molly.
Molly, I always call her Marley. Molly. Oh my God.
Goodness.
He's just testing me to see what my sea legs are like. My sea legs aren't very good, Phil. Phil, what's that medallion you've got on?
Oh, this is a biogeometry pendant.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So
Cool.
you clear it every night and it's supposed to like help protect. Right? And then this little thing on here is protect from 5G. It's like some sort of biogeometry shape. And then I got the biogeometry ring as well. So I put them on this little plate every night and it clears out any negative energies that it's picked up.
Wow.
And this guy kind of studied like the Egyptians and all those different, I mean, it comes kind of with the, what do you do? Geomancy kind of stuff. So it kind of all the energetic stuff. So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
So Susan was inspired. She did a 24-hour dry fast, and then she did one night, and she liked it. And she's been kind of doing a little bit of intermittent dry fasting and eating lots of watermelon in between, and yeah. So
yeah, that's that's the thing. The thing with dry fasting is people think it's really difficult, right? But scientifically, it's actually easier because you don't get hungry. With dry fasting, you don't get withdrawal symptoms, and you don't get hunger like you do with juice or water. So actually, it's do 12 hours, 24 hours is easy. I mean, over that, you just have to practice. Just practice with your 12, 14, 16, 18, 24 hours. Practice and do a few 24 hours and then do some 36-hour dry fasts. It's I was talking to my sister Wendy about this, and she was saying, oh, I've done a 14 or a 16 hour, so I'm going to do a 24-hour. And I said, well, by the time you get to 24-hour, you might as well do 36. And she said, what do you mean? And I said, well, 24 takes you from like 7 o'clock in the evening until 7 o'clock in the evening. So you might as well just go without until you wake up the next morning, because you've got a whole night, right, to do dry. Right. So that gives you 36 hours. So if you can do 24 hours, then kind of 36 hours, or even 30 what would that be, 32 hours, even so, if you can get through to 24, 26 hours then to get through to 32 is relatively easy. So you just got to go to sleep. And it's a very
Right.
different feeling in your belly than when you're water fasting.
Right.
So, and of course it's dead easy, right? Because you do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You can do a soft dry. Some people call a soft dry to clean your teeth, but I would call that a soft dry, because really once you put any water in your mouth, it changes the physiology, completely changes. So by putting nothing in your mouth is the key. And actually one of the first things my sister said when I came off of my fast was, wow, your teeth are really white. So I hadn't cleaned my teeth for like 6 or 7 days, maybe 8 days, and my teeth were whiter than before I started.
Mm-hmm.
So that's interesting, isn't it?
That's
It
pretty good. And you hadn't cleaned them.
No, I hadn't cleaned them for 7 or 8 days, and they were cleaner than before I started. And and before I started, I cleaned them every single day. So I made this flask of herbal tea, which is a noise, to go to stand in the park, and all I had was one little cup. So I decided I would be sociable and drink tea on the show, right? We can tea.
I like that.
Tea and chat, or chat and tea.
My power cable's not charging my phone, so I'm gonna run out of the room now. Just to
It's all going on tonight. It's all,
grab a different.
Phil, have you packed it, sold it, given it away?
What's that?
Have you packed it, sold it, given it away?
Not yet. We're working on it.
So it looks like I'm here on my own. Right. So left on the spot. What should we talk about? We've done blue light. We've done fasting. Vegan is yeah, I make a really bad vegan, I think. It just doesn't. Some people say raw food doesn't suit me. I don't think veganism suits me either, because I was talking to someone about it this morning when I was doing stand in the park, because of doing shamanic work and working ritually, I like to use props from nature. I like using props from nature, and because I'm a country boy at heart, really, that's my the inner original me is like a country boy. So I like to use sacred artifacts, right? And of course that really doesn't fit in the vegan scene at all. But to me, one of the things that I use is a bird of prey wing. So I've got a kestrel wing that I use, and I've got a sparrowhawk wing that I use. Now, they were birds that were roadkill. They were dead on the side of the road. And luckily for me, I drove past at the time before they'd been run over. So they were dead on the road, just going to waste, right? And I was like, oh, wow. Birds of prey are sacred, right? They carry they carry our I was going to say mission. They carry our mission to spirit. They help us cleanse. And depending on what type of bird of prey it is, whether it's an owl or a hawk helps you to really focus down and hone in to what it is that you're looking at, what you're doing, what you're releasing, what your wishes. It really, the hawk energy, it's like it's focused and it's right in. So for me, it's really important that we're using these, and ancestral medicine is. It's not like I've gone out and shot this animal, right? I haven't done that.
Right.
This animal was given to me. It was dead on the side of the road, given to me. Now I can either leave it to get run over and mashed into the road, or eaten by another bird, or chuck it in the verge, or I can allow the spirit of that animal, to work with me. And not even allow, ask is, that's what I've done before I picked it up. It's like, will you work with me? Can I use this earth vehicle of yours to help transformation and heal people? You know, can I use that? So it's, you know, I always ask permission, and you know, what a great thing to be gifted. What a great thing for spirit to gift me. You know, that's how I see it. You know, and if I was in a charity shop and saw a sheepskin rug, I'd have a sheepskin rug, because it's already it's already been discarded by somebody. What are we going to do with it? Send it to land? What are we going to do? Send it to landfill? Then that's, you know, do you know what I mean? That's actually being the absolute opposite of sacred.
Right.
That's the absolute opposite.
Well, let me get rid
sacred.
of these leather shoes so I can get these vegan shoes instead. Like, well, wait a minute.
Exactly, Phil. You know, or you've got, you know, I've got some really nice leather belts, right? So now I've gone vegan. What do? Throw out the leather belt because I'm vegan. Well, what's vegan? You know, where's the veganism in throwing out a leather belt?
Well, that's when you go, well, veganism's just kind of ridiculous, and this you go into honoring the elements, and that's like a whole other level.
Yeah, absolutely. So what I could do with that leather belt is gift it to someone that really likes it, right? You know, I had a hat once similar to this. It's quite a good hat, but it was a little bit too small. And this young girl, I was at a show one day, and this young girl was playing with my hat. She said, "Oh, I love your hat," and I'm like, "Here, have it."
I love it when that happens.
You know, she loved it more than I did. So that means that's the perfect person, you know. And if I was wearing one of my leather belts and someone loved the belt more than I did, that's the home for it to go to, right?
Right.
But throwing it out, just, you know, and I understand, like, I could not wear a leather coat, right? I couldn't wrap my body in that. I couldn't do that. Hence, I don't own one.
Right.
You know, so to me, a leather belt's a little bit different to a leather coat.
I wonder though, like if somebody, like if say somebody like a Native American made, like, so are you associating a leather coat with one of those like biker coats? Or like say you had a Native American make you this beautiful leather coat, it would be totally different energetic.
Yes, yeah, and you know, and that's the thing with the drum that I use. Right now, you've said that the drum that I use is Native American made in ceremony, and it uses deer skin, right? So that isn't, and you again, I can use the spirit of that animal. I can use the spirit of that ancestor when I'm drumming and healing. So looking at it shamanically, like, you know, how can we use these elements? How can we use this spirit? And of course, if that would have been a deer that had been slaughtered, you can't use the spirit because there's no spirit. There's no spirit in it. It's just completely traumatized. So there's that. Yeah, and you're absolutely right, Phil. You're absolutely right. It's it's all about the energy of how everything's done.
I'm hoping that one day somebody gives me some leather moccasins, like Native American. I'd like those gifted to me because I feel like, because I'm just like that would be like totally, if it was naturally treated and you created like from, you know, the sacred ceremony, like that would be the ultimate grounding. You know, you'd be able to walk on the earth and be grounded. Unlike these like rubber-soled plastic shoes that ship from all these resources all around the world, as opposed to like in the Native American, like, you know, being in harmony with the animal and creating some, you know, shoes out of the skin. So,
well, it's interesting you say Native American. Do you remember Will Lord that came on the show, Phil?
Yeah.
Everything Will does is done sacredly. Everything Will does is done with honor. Everything's done with a prayer. Everything's done with gratitude.
Yep.
You know,
yeah, we often say Native Americans, but really we just mean it's kind of like more ancient ways, really. Like,
well, it's like, I think what you're really talking about, Phil, is native people that are in touch with the earth, that are in touch with the animals. You know, it's like when I used to shoot, I was in reverence of the animal. I'm not saying it's right at all, but I was in reverence. You know, I really admired them. I used to watch them, and you know, I used to really admire them. totally different mindset to what I've got now, you know, then that was more of a job, you know, that was part of the job description, so to speak, but it was never done with aggression or anger. You know, it's and people don't understand that, but lots of people that I know that shoot they're not aggressive, angry people. It's interesting. They're not
Right.
necessarily in gratitude either. You know,
Right.
I know very few people that actually shoot with gratitude, but you know, as well, I don't actually know anyone that shoots with anger and hatred.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Which is a completely different mind. And you know, and also, you know, most of the people in the slaughterhouses don't do it from an aggressive, hateful point of view. A lot of them are just doing it because it's their job, right?
Yep.
But then when stuff's done sacredly with love and with honor, then it's literally a whole different ball game.
Mm-hmm.
Funny.
So talking about past lives.
Say that again, Phil.
Talking about past lives. So this week I was really going through some discomfort. My liver was like aching, like just weird stuff. And just kind of like trauma in my body. I was like, oh, maybe like my liver's toxic or something like this. And it might be, you know, it might be going through whatever it's going through on the physical level. But I was like, there's got to be another level to this of stuff that's going on. And I think I talked to you a little bit earlier in the week that just like, I think it's like my inner child is angry at me and just like wants me to make a change and do things differently. And it's like, I'm ignoring my inner child. I'm neglecting my inner child. So that you know, that stuff come up. I was like, okay, there's something around that. And then so I went to get this healing session, which I kind of had planned, but it was really like, I thought it was just kind of body work. But this guy, I knew he kind of tuned in. So I told him that. And he kind of went into my liver, like he did a little bit of stuff, work on my shoulders and stuff. And then afterwards it was like really sore. But then he kind of went into my liver and then like he found, and I was like, oh, and I think before the session, I was like, I think this is like, there's a war wound or something, or this is a previous life when I was in battle and I got injured. And so he went in there and he basically pulled out this sword, energetic sword from my liver. And as he was pulling it out, I was like laughing and like going, whoa, it was just like releasing all this energy as he was pulling this sword out of my liver energy. And as he does that, and it's like, you know, and then he goes in the back and there's like a bullet wound. So there's like, he's pulling out a bullet. And then he goes up to my shoulder and he finds like this arrow stuck in there. So he pulls this arrow out. So he's like, oh, there's this pile of metal on my floor next to us. So just like, yeah, he's pulling out all of this stuff from my body. And it's like, we carry all these things generationally and we don't even realize it. So, and I think after the show, I talked to you and in a past life, it came up and I was in Glastonbury. This was like 10 years ago or something. I was in Glastonbury and I got this past life reading. Susan was there and it was so intense. I was like crying and I basically stabbed my best friend in the heart. And I told you this yesterday. I'd never told you before. And you just like got shivers and you're like, I think it was me, Phil. So
yeah.
So like when we go into healing and we think, oh, well, I just got to, you know, do raw food and detox. And it's like, you know, there's so many levels and layers of energetic that's, you know, in our bodies, in our consciousness, in our spirits, from past lives, from this life, like we don't even know. So yeah, you told me, you said you need to do this work and I started doing it and it's like, oh, but I hadn't even planned it. It was like, this is meant to happen right now. So
yeah, absolutely. You know, and this is what happens. And it's just, you know, that brings me back to that point when you read my application form to come to the Tree of Life and you just read my application form and you knew that I had to go.
Yeah.
And, you know, and the moment I turned up and we met, we were like best buddies.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just really interesting how you can just click with people like that. And, you know, and we clicked and we've been besties ever since, even though we didn't, you know, when we didn't really connect to Phil, for like 15 years.
Right.
we chat a little bit and we'd have a few messages backwards and forth every now and again, but we'd never really connect. And that's really why the show was born, wasn't it? Was because of our commitment to connect with each other and, you know, re-evolve and regrow this friendship. And you know, like you said with the show, evolve out loud. And that's what the show's about, isn't it? Is for us to share our individual healing journeys with each other and everybody else, and then that growthful journey of opening that happens between you and I. And you know, and sometimes we really connect on a very deep level. You know, occasionally we really deepen, we really connect and open, and occasionally we're just on a, you know, a normal level, and that's, you know, that's just how it is. But it's you know, it's doing our best to share our journey and our vulnerabilities with you guys that are watching, to inspire, to help on whatever level we can, you know, it does, however it triggers you, good, bad, or indifferent. You know, we're here to serve, to serve the best we can for, you know, for ourselves, each other, and for you that are watching.
Talking about watching, I got YouTube up on the laptop, and Tim is saying hi. So,
Oh, cool.
Yeah. And he says he loves our glasses. So,
Hey Tim, what did your wife say about the cake?
we'll see if he responds.
I took him cake in, Phil. I took him cake into work. Right, he works in what you would call like a little home depot, and
Okay.
I walked to the counter because we have a trade section on that one. So I walked to the trade section and gave him and snuck him this little pot with some cake and some sauce in, and he just stood at the counter, opened up the box, stuck his fingers in, and shoved it in his mouth. And I said, "Well, you're going to eat it right now?" He said, "Yeah." And
He said it was amazing.
Licked his fingers clean, put the container on, and said, "I'm going to save the rest of that for my wife."
Aw.
So I wasn't expecting that at all. I was expecting him to kind of scribble it away and have it later.
The cake she loved and couldn't get her head around it being raw. She couldn't believe it was raw, he said. So
Better believe it, baby.
that's the thing with raw cakes. Yeah, people don't have no idea that it's like, oh, it's wow, this must be cooked or something. So
Yeah, but I did dehydrate it though, Phil.
what, the crust or?
No, the actual cake.
All right.
Because I made it with all wet ingredients, I dried it out a little bit, so it wasn't like a wet mess, you know.
The sauce was good, but she isn't as nutty as me. What? Okay. I don't know what he's saying.
That was a cashew cream.
Ah, yum.
So yeah, so I'm guessing she doesn't like the nutty cream quite as much as he did.
But she swore there was vanilla.
No, there's actually no. I don't know what it's called, but it's a fake vanilla. It's actually like vanilla's in a pod.
Mm-hmm.
This is in a little bean, and you grate it the same as you would with nutmeg.
Ah.
So you grate it like nutmeg. So it is not vanilla, and it's quite tricky because it's nothing like vanilla. So you've got to get just the right amount to trick you into thinking it's vanilla.
Interesting.
And I don't know what.
A bit of an art form there. You don't even know what it is?
I don't know. I've got no idea. I ordered it from one of my wholesalers, and they said, "Oh no, but we've got this little bean, whatever it was, and you can use it like vanilla." And I was like, "Cool, chuck me some in it." And they put it in a bag for me with no label on. So I don't, for myself personally, I don't have my products labeled, so I know what they are most of the time. And I looked at it the other day and thought, "Damn, I wish I'd have had that labeled," because I've got no idea what it is.
You're gonna have to ask him now.
I'll have to ask them what it is, because vanilla, right, Phil? Vanilla powder now is about £1,000 a kilo.
It's insane. We got some vanilla and something happened and they can't supply it for like 3 or 4 months. Like it just went away. And they're like, oh, sorry, there's supply chain issues with
But
vanilla.
do you know why we can't? Nowhere in the world can really get vanilla powder.
It's all. I don't know. You tell me.
Nestle bought it all
Ah,
in their fake bullshit attempt to be a wellness company.
yeah, they are just the worst. Yeah.
So there's a few. I'm not sure how many companies now, holistic whole food companies now that Nestle own, but they're pretending to be a wellness company. So they're
Well,
gobbling
they're
up.
trying to absorb that part because they know that part's taken away from their business. Well, they're like 90% junk food and 10% some healthy
I
companies.
think
took
when I
over.
watched it today, it was 70% crap food, 30%.
I saw 70, but I don't believe that. I'm sure it's more like 90. But anyway, I'll take 70 if you want.
No, I don't mind. I mean, let's just look at the way that it always plays. If they're saying 70,
Mhm.
it's probably only 7% that's good. They just put the naught. They just put the naught in the wrong place, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So people can say, oh, but aren't they doing good stuff? It's like superficially, yes, but actually what they've done is they've gobbled up all the little good guys. They've come along, given the good guys a rescue package. And you could
Mhm.
say that the good guys are sold out, but most of the time the good guys actually can't make any money.
Oh,
So
they can't. It's really hard. Like, so us running what we're running right now, it's really expensive to run a manufacturing facility. And it's like we just do our best. But these guys have got infinite funding and investing that they go buy $1 million packaging machine without even blinking an eye. And it's like it's buried, it's not even covered in the cost of running that part of the company. It's just like they have so much money, they just throw it at stuff. And it's just like we can't compete. And it's like it gives a false sense of, oh, they can do that, and then they lower the prices and go, yeah, this is the price of it. So then somebody who's doing it real and tries to compete, they can't, because it's like they have to put their prices and then they can make no margin, so
it's the same as me, right, Phil? If I want to make anything there's a lovely bloke called Dominic that used to run in Spiral Lounge and in Spiral Foods in London, right? Beautiful man, amazing products. He really pioneered the whole raw ice cream thing in the UK, packaged kale chips. He really pioneered the manufacturing of that.
Mhm.
And eventually company after company after company started up, undercut him.
Mhm.
And then of course they couldn't make it. So
Right.
start up, undercut, can't make it, collapse. And then what those companies do is give a false price of what the product's worth. Then his
Right.
product became expensive, right? Then
Right.
another company would start up, undercut him, fail.
Right.
And then so then eventually a big company comes in and undercuts him. So it looks like he's expensive, but actually exactly what you're saying now is what he's doing is the true value of a product.
Right.
And then eventually he got to the point where he couldn't compete. So he either had to sell out or fold up.
Yep.
And bless his heart, man, he folded because he didn't want to sell out.
Good. Yeah.
So
I know that the owner of Health Force would do the same thing. She would just like, okay, we're done. It's like, it's not just selling out because you're making a karmic choice at that point, to sell out. So,
and when someone comes along and offers you, like another company I know in the UK, that they were a health tea company, I'm not going to mention names, but they lost £125,000 one year, and then Unilever bought them out.
mm-hmm.
But when you're into a company for hundreds of thousands of pounds, and then someone comes along and offers you 1 or 2 million, what do you do? It's
Right.
difficult. They gave him actual creatorship of the company still. So he still runs the company for Unilever. But what a choice, you know, what a
That's a
shit
tough
choice he had.
choice. It's like you want to keep your business going. It's so tough. But yeah, if you can keep the rights to it and something, and they can help invest. But yeah, it's like, oh, are you signing your dotted line away? Are you signing your soul over to these guys? Like, it's a hard choice.
You know, when you're in for hundreds of, you know, when you're in debt for hundreds of thousands of pounds and you get offered a lifeline, what
do you do? Yeah.
And of course, everyone can sit there and be self-righteous until, of course, you're into the bank for hundreds of thousands of pounds and someone offers you a lifeline. What do you do?
Yeah, exactly.
Easy to sit there and go, oh, wow, I'd be all self-righteous. But you don't know that. You
No,
don't know.
If you got your family, you got kids, or, you know, you paying bills for people and you want to keep your staff employed and they've got families, and like, you make a choice on that physical day-to-day level, because what other you like, I got to take care of these people. I don't want these employees to go hungry or not be able to pay their rent or whatever, you know. So.
And I think for those of us that either run companies or manage facilities like you do, Phil, you understand that. You see the bigger picture, which is...
I care about the employees more than anything, like the customer and the employees. But like, because we're lucky, we don't have investors that I need to care about, or stockholders. So, and Jameth always used to put it this way: it's like, well, you know, we're kind of at the bottom. The customer, like, we have the pyramid, the upside down, where you got the boss at the top and the people at the bottom. He's like, no, it's the other way around. You know, the customers are at the top, and then your employees, and then you're at the bottom, and you're supporting all those people above. Like, and your choices is affecting them, like keeping those people employed. And it was really, I was really grateful to be an essential business during this time and keep all those people employed, because I know a lot of them, you know, their Latino community, they're sending money to their relatives and grandparents in Mexico, and like, so keeping them employed has this ripple effect, you know. So
yeah,
and then they get to be in a healthy environment and a safe space and all those things, you know. So
yeah, so on that pyramid, Phil, I like Gary V's input on that, which I think is really great, which is at the top of his pyramid are his employees, then second are the customers, and then he's at the bottom.
Right.
But you know what? That really turns it on its head, putting your employees first.
Right.
Who does that? You know, nearly everyone.
Exactly, because then you do that, and then they're going to then serve the customer automatically. They're going to serve the customer better. So
yeah, exactly. You know, it's like when I work for people say, yeah, but the customer's always right, and my answer is yes, until they're wrong. And when they're wrong, that's the point that I've then had enough, because they're they're not right. And I think for us, when we run our own businesses, of course the customers are important, but who wants crap customers?
Right, that's true.
You know, if the customers aren't suiting your business, boot them out.
Right.
And I learned that from a friend of mine. Right, he runs a very successful farm shop. And if his customers are rude, he says, put your veggies back, here's your money, now fuck off out of my shop. And I'm like, you can't do that. He said, I can. And that's exactly what I do.
Right.
And I was like, wow. He said, because why do I want horrible customers? And I was like, you don't. But what a completely different mindset that is.
Well, we'll think, yeah, it's really good. And there's something about our show. So say we had we were just really big and we had all these trolls on our show. That would be just a waste of energy. Like, we're talking to people who we love, who are our family and community, and then they're going to touch other people. So people who are watching our show are people we want to hang out with, you know. So, but we don't want, the government watching it, or trolls or anything like that.
And you know what? If you're a troll watching our show, just go watch something you want to watch, because man, don't waste your life watching our show to pick holes in it. because we know we're not perfect. We know we're doing the best we can. We know that we're making lots of mistakes, right? And who cares? Because at least we're actually doing what we love, doing our best to bring value to people's lives by, bringing this subject up, for example, right, about caring about your employees, having a bad customer, right? It's like having a troll on your on your feed. Who wants a bloody troll on your feed? It's a waste of everyone's energy. And who wants crappy customers?
And you
Get rid of
see
the
that,
crappy
you'll see
customers.
somebody like, because of that mindset, you'll see people like they'll post something on social media or whatever, and they'll be arguing with the trolls.
Yeah.
Like the best thing to do is just block the troll and be done. Like just block them. Like, nope, this is my page, this is what I share, and this is my community, and you're not part of this, and I'm not wasting my energy giving you any of my energy. Blocked, done.
Yeah,
Because
and
that's how they feed off. Like that's all they feed off anyway. So just forget them. Just go away.
yeah, because it's the same as I was saying about the stand in the park. Actually, Phil, that you've brought me back round to stand in the park now. I do wonder really what stand in the park's all about. I do wonder if on a level it's as bad as clapping for the NHS. Oh, did I just say that? I think I just did. However, it's a really useful tool as well, because what you do is it's created a situation for us to go and find our tribe.
Exactly. And it's fine. These are great events to find people who you connect with, and that's it. But if you go there to fight with others or to find someone you disagree with, instead, go and find people you align with, create a resonance, create a field, create your tribe. That's the great thing about these events, so we just turn it around. And if you find this group of people that are doing things that you don't align with, you don't even need to judge them. Maybe that's needed. Maybe you need the people who are loud on a certain level to stand outside 10 Downing Street and scream, but that's not you. Maybe you realize that's not you, and your thing is to sit in a corner and have a raw food picnic and drum.
Yeah,
like neither is right or wrong, but your tribe is going to create the highest resonance, and they're going to do what they need to do on their level. And it's not lower or higher, it's just they need to bang a different drum and set off some fireworks and scream at the police. That's fine, they can do that.
So let's just reiterate that again, right? We have to beat our own drum.
Yes.
So I really want to, I think that's amazing that you say that, and coming from a shamanic point of view, of course I'm going to pick up on it, right? But we're all beating our own drum. We're all in our own groove. We're all in our own rhythm. And the great thing that I'm finding with standing in the park is everyone can take it in turns. People can come and kind of hang out with me, or they can go and hang out with the people that are talking the conspiracy, or they can go and hang out with people that are talking facts and figures. Because there's some amazing facts and figures that people are, talking about. And for me, it's all about introspection. It's all about going inward. It's all about healing the trauma. It's all about regression. It's just all about self-exploration. And that's where I've got to. If this would have been 2 or 3 years ago, it would have all been about what's going on. Whereas now,
I need to go into the conspiracy and I need to dig into this. It's like, well,
yeah,
now it's different. And it doesn't mean you won't go back to that at some point, or like a different phase, it's like, but right now, like, you're going to go with the introspection crowd, and yeah, and that's good.
And there was someone talking about, go on, Phil, sorry.
No, so I was just thinking about what you draw in. So I'm on Instagram and I started liking like people who are outdoors in the UK, like in the Lake District, like these Trish Lake District or whatever, and she just post pictures of her in the Lake District. And then like recommendations came up of people who have allotments. So all these people who have allotments in the UK, and I'm just like, oh my God, these are people everywhere who have allotments. And there's these people sharing, they're in there growing their broad beans and going, look at my garden, look how cool here's my soil. And it's just like, wow, like that's like in my field now of like, did I attract that? That attracts me. Who knows? But like that started to come in my field of awareness. It's like, well, yes, I have that intention to grow food in England. And it's like, oh, well, that's now coming into my field of like other people doing that. It's like, cool. I'm gonna just ride that wave, like let it draw me in. So
Yeah, absolutely. And and this is what happens, isn't it? I've got some people that I follow on Forest School, because they do some really great things, and there's some on homeschooling and
yes. Mhm.
yeah, even though I haven't got kids or anything, I'm just really intrigued as to
Well, neither of us do, but we want to influence kids in a positive way, and I mean, we love being around kids, and I think we inspire them, and we can connect with them really well. I know I do. So
yeah, I was told by a friend of mine that teaches a lot. She said, Phil, you're great with kids. And it's just like, yeah, but do I want any or not? Would I want any? I guess I'm probably getting a bit long in the tooth for that now. But I think actually at my age now, I would make a way better dad than I would have done
Right.
20 or 30 years ago. I have so much more patience. I have so much more tolerance. I understand more about encouraging them to be who they are, not who I want them to be or who they should be. And I know that's much easier said than done, but at least I've got the awareness of that. So actually, if you go back to tribal stuff, the youngsters had the kids, but the grandparents brought the kids up.
Well, like you say, the community is what grows the kids. So I think the kids need us. They need us. They need people who are tuned in, and I think we need to help them a lot right now. They need to find out who they are and reconnect with nature and get outside, and maybe we can help them. So
Hey, and so do I. I need to reconnect with nature and get outside and play as well. Forget the kids.
exactly. Well,
I
yes,
need that.
it's a win-win. And we are big kids. We think we're these adults or something, and we're not. We're just kids struggling along and trying to figure it out. We're all big babies, we're just evolving and growing. And sure, we got lifetimes behind us too. So we're also very mature as well. So, but we need play. We need to play more.
Yeah, that was what I think I said to you, Phil. That was one of the things that I got when I was dry fasting, was the need to be in electric water. And when I talk about electric water, what I mean by that is living water. Not like the sea. But what I was getting more than anything else was a wild water. So not a river, but those tell you what, that stream that you got in near your mum and dad's. That wild water. That real
it's alive, it's playful, it's joyful,
that water. It wasn't that I wanted to get into a river or the sea or a lake. It was actually wanting to get into that living stream energy water, because it's very much alive and electric stream energy water as opposed to river water. Yeah.
And I've done that many times where I think we were driving across Colorado and we jumped in this freezing cold, like it was a river, well, not a river, but like a stream, maybe just a few feet wide, but it was just like, it was glacial melt, like ice, snow melt water. It was freezing cold, but it was just like, we had to get in it. Like we just had to get in that water. And it was just like, it just rejuvenated us so well. It was just beautiful. So I know exactly what you mean. There's just like a magic to it. And it's like, you want to be part of that. It's like, oh, I want to be part of that, like energy. I want to vibrate at the frequency. I want to beat at the resonance of that drum, of that frequency. So you want to get in it. I want to get inside that river. So.
Yeah, absolutely, Phil. And that, so exactly what I was talking about. And it was interesting because I've never really had that. But when I was fasting, it became clear as to what energy I wanted to be in. Yeah. In shower water and all the rest of it, it's just dead.
Yeah. So, and it's the same with like the tribe that you're talking about. So if we're around a group of people that we don't resonate with, then it's going to pull us down. But if we can get around, like, so you're resonating with those people that want to talk about raw food and fasting, and that's uplifting to you, and it's vibrating at a high level. Whereas if you this group that are complaining about all the restrictions and lockdowns and masks, and there's some people I've seen them on, they're just like screaming at people for wearing masks and just being agitators. And it's like, that's fine if you want to do that. That ain't for me.
So this was Earth Dragon, Phil. We were just talking about
I know,
getting
you just
rid-
you interrupt my whole thought. I couldn't even, it's just like, blah, blah, blah.
Man, that wasn't me. That was the dragon.
I know it was the dragon. I feel it.
I was just doing, because you were talking about grounding. So that's Earth Dragon, which is really grounding. And then Oriole, which is a copper color, which again, let's just get some of that for some grounding round us. Wow. And then for everyone watching, this is Ruby Red. So this is about tribe. Let's create our tribes. If Phil and I don't resonate with you, fantastic. Don't waste your time. Go find a tribe. So this is for all of us, finding our tribes. This is the time right now. This is the time right now for you to find your tribe. And actually, on a level, it's never been easier. It's never been easier on the level.
Right, everybody's showing their true colors right now. Everyone's showing themselves. It's beautiful.
You could say on another level, right? Everyone's showing their hand they're playing.
Mm-hmm.
Whether they know it or not, they're showing their hand. And it makes it easier for all of us to find our tribe. So in spite of what's going on, we can open our hearts, we can find our tribe, and we can seek our truth.
Well, here's something interesting. So I think I told you I went to a bunch of Trump rallies, freedom rallies, and I'm at these events and I'm like, I like this freedom thing, but there's something that I'm just like they're all singing the American whatever anthem, whatever, and it was just like I wasn't resonating with that, but I was just like, there's something about this, these people are out, and I'm just like, but it was like it's not quite my tribe, but it was like there's an aspect of it that I resonate with. It's like this whole thing about politics and supporting a certain politician, and just like that's not me, because I know that's all BS and it's going to get us nowhere. It's this, because it's the constant game of okay, this politician's going to save us, oh no, let's trash him, now it's the next one, or it's this constant game, and it's just there's some of that to that. And I was just like, so but I resonate with that these people are about freedom and about life and about getting out and living. But again, it was, I just kept having this underlying feeling. I'm just like, well, it's not quite my tribe. It's like, I want people who are into health, and my core tribe, I go to raw food meetings and we talk about, health and, consciousness and all that stuff. So, but at these big events, I think I was seeking something. I was seeking this consciousness, and I think it wasn't there. It wasn't there fully, so. It's like, they're all talking about changing the becoming politicians or changing this system. And I'm just like, that's not my thing. And that's maybe their thing, and maybe that's a good thing, but it's not my thing. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, we go to these events and find who our tribe isn't.
Right.
Mm-hmm. And that's cool, because that eliminates, by finding what you don't want, it really helps you to become clear on what you do want.
So I'm just reading what Tim's saying. To be honest, brothers, Phil G opening my eyes to his tribe has done nothing but bring positivity to my life. a heightened awareness, and an expansion of love. Thank you both. Thank
Cool,
you,
you
Tim.
know, yeah, thanks, bro. That's what we're here for. You know, we're here to do our best to open our eyes. You know, and you know, I catch myself saying things to Phil sometimes, and it's like, oh no, that's actually not right.
Right.
You know, and just because it's resonating with me now, as I evolve, it's not necessarily going to going to resonate with me.
And it's to keep going back within and trusting that. So like I got sucked into some of the stuff, the political stuff that happened, but there was a message on the line going, nope, something not right here. This is just another play, it's another game. Like, it was always that underlying going, nope, this is not it. There's something off here. So like that message, that the voice is always there, and it's just like listening for that voice. And I get why people are resonating with that, because it's a powerful field of consciousness. It's people coming together. It's all supporting each other. And then there's something deeper calling, you know, to me personally.
Yeah, well, it's really interesting, isn't it, when people get together physically and stand up for their rights, protest, demonstrate, whatever you want to call it. And yet, when a group of people sit and meditate for 30 minutes a day, and they just all they're doing is they're focused on meditation. That's all they're doing is focus on meditation. They're not focused on anything else. And crime rate drops by 50% in a week.
Right.
They haven't focused on anything to do with crime whatsoever. They just focus on meditation.
Right.
And, you know, overall crime goes down. I can't remember. Do you remember the experiment they did, Phil? Was it in New York?
Yeah, I think so. It was a transcendental meditation people. They did some crime rate stuff. I think it was New York and Chicago maybe, and dropped the crime rate 50%. And then as soon as they left, like, it went back up. So this consciousness needs to be all the time, you know. So
you know, and this is the thing that I'm getting clearer and clearer and clearer is it isn't about going outwardly and demonstrating. It's about going inward and finding peace. It's not about being the resistance. It's about being the resistance inside of ourselves. It's about looking for that peace, looking for that positivity, looking for that. I mean, I think Gary Vee's great because he really talks about finding your joy. If you don't like it, stop it. Do something that you love. If you're not loving it, don't do it. Do so, you know, just keep, you know, and youngsters say, how do I find my passion? How do I find my purpose? And he says, try every single thing that you can until you find it.
Nice.
But don't do one thing and go, oh no, that's not it.
Right.
He said, you know, when you're young, it's easy. Just do as many jobs as you possibly can, all different sorts, until you find something that you love, and then stick to it.
Right.
Until you don't love it, right? But it's just really interesting because his driving thing is what makes you happy. And if it doesn't make you happy, don't do it.
Right.
You know, and for me, doing this show actually makes me happy. You know, it's very rewarding. We get to practice being the best version of us for an hour or an hour and a half every week. You know, we get to practice. I get to practice not swearing too much, right? Because at the end of the day, I don't want to do that. Occasionally it's necessary to get that point across, or, you know, or express something, or even to trigger something. You know, it's a very, I find it sometimes in certain groups to swear out of context is it's really telling, because you can find out where people are. So it can be really useful, but on the whole, it's really good practice for me to not. It's a good practice for me to be gentle. It's a good practice for me to be as authentic as I possibly can be. It's a good practice for me to do my best to recognize the ego and step back from it. You know, it's a practice, right? And you know, that practice gives me a freedom to really explore my true self.
Mhm.
You know, and to be vulnerable and authentic. That's tough sometimes.
Mhm.
You know, and on the show we kind of know when we've hit that moment, because actually it's really peaceful and quiet. Doesn't make a great show for everybody else, but actually that that peacefulness, man, that's where it's at. Then the world can fall apart around you, and it's okay. And that's the point we need to get to, where it doesn't matter whatever is going on around us, it's okay.
Yeah, can be a storm outside, but that inner peace is not. Because it's like, because we think we're going to change the outside and we're going to stop the chaos and the storm and the crazy politicians or whatever it is, but we can't. We have no control over any of that. We can only work every day, every moment to be at peace within that storm, within the eye of the storm, while the storm continues, because it will always continue all our lives. It's never going to stop. If it's not this, it's going to be that. If it's not that, it's going to be something else. So, yeah, exactly.
You know, and that, man, that really is it. That really is. It's actually about finding that peace, about finding that calmness, finding that still, you know, lots of people talk about this in meditation, finding that still place within. And actually, I find that still place within now nearly every show.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, even when I meditate, I don't get that still place within. But when we're sharing on the show now, I think it's nearly every show now where we hit that that inner place of stillness where actually it's okay.
I think because we finally we get to share our hearts and we get to share with vulnerability, and we don't hold back. We just share ourselves, and then we get to a point where it's like, oh, I feel heard.
Yeah.
It was interesting after the session I did where it was like pulling out all this stuff. Susan then went in after me and she got a session, and I went and sat down with the guy's wife, and I was just blabbing like all of this, like blah 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 blah, blah all this talking, and then it was like, it was like, but it all, I processed all of this stuff, and it all just came up, and then it was just like, you know, I feel peace now.
You're right, Phil. And most people's gabbling that they do all day long is process. They're trying to process, but with no outcome.
Right.
You know, that's what Friday night down the pub's all about. It's about processing the week. But actually, you know, people call it letting off steam. But actually, nothing's held. There's no vessel to hold that in. You know, I know when I used to do festivals, and we get there on a Tuesday and we'd set up, and the festival would start on Friday. Friday night was carnage.
Mm-hmm.
Friday night was absolutely carnage, because everyone had come from their jobs, from work, from the city. They'd all come out to the countryside and they let rip. So Friday night was party night. Saturday night was less party night. And by Sunday, they were chilled. So
Mm-hmm.
Sunday night was peaceful. But man, when you're trying to hold a stool down and you're working till 12 o'clock at night and you're up at 8 o'clock in the morning, you know, it's not conducive. So Friday night, I dreaded Friday nights, because it was carnage, you know. Having turned up on Tuesday and set up, well, you're setting up from Tuesday until Friday morning, and the whole site's like is in the same vibe, which is setting up, saying hello to all your friends that you haven't seen for you know, if it's an early one you haven't seen all year or maybe for 5 years. And so there's that. So there's that tribe, the tribe of stall holders, and then the other tribe comes, and it's really hard to hold yourself when. So for me, Friday night was a little bit like, ooh. And then by Saturday night, you know, I got used to the vibe a little bit, and everyone was chilling out, and it started to get a little bit easier. But yeah, interesting.
I definitely know that like so like little longevity conferences that used to happen. It was the David Wolf events. I would go and do a booth for Health Force, and it was just like great, like we setting up and like moving all the products and getting it all looking beautiful. And it was like that was a certain thing. And then this swarm of people coming in and like this whirlwind of energy for like like whoa, okay, it's like you have to be pretty grounded, like, and then it's like at the end it's like so
Yeah, and I guess actually any little of even I do the little local mind body spirits when you're setting up still, it's again the stall holders are there, it's one vibe, and then as soon as the doors open to the public it's like and yeah, you're right, you have to be able to hold yourself. Some people are really practiced and really good at it. For others we have to do the work, you know. And practice, just practice. It's all practice.
Yep.
So Phil, I'm going to give us another.
Yep.
I'm going to give us another spray for tribe.
Yep. I think this is the show today. So
I get that feeling too. Okay, this is a tribe one. So this is Ruby Red, about finding your tribe, colors mirror system, and I've got a little bit of fire left. This is the element of fire. This is all about firewalk. This is about, you know, the firewalk of truth. It seems to be at the moment. I can't get any out of there. Last little bit left in my bottle. This is the walk of firewalk. This is intensity. Find your truth, find yourself, find your tribe. And if it's really intense, just know that it's your firewalk. So guys, I should have said it before. If you like the show and you love what we do, hit subscribe. We really appreciate you subscribing to our channel. Give us a like, give us a thumbs up. If you don't like the show, don't watch it again. Go somewhere else. Find your tribe. Find what you love. Find your passion, but don't waste your time with us.
I'm Phil.
And I'm Phil.
And this has been another fabulous episode of the Phil and Phil Show with our crazy glasses. Go to philandphil.com, make a little donation to support our work.
Or a big donation.
Or a big donation. We have like 5 people watching tonight. I don't know who those are. It's probably Wendy, Tim, my mom's on. My mom said she thought it was a poor crop of vanilla. I don't know why she said that, but anyway. So 5 people watching. That's probably the most watching on YouTube. That's just why we're just going viral at this rate.
Thanks, guys. Love you all. Really appreciate your support.
Good night, Tim.
Remember, subscribe, like us, share it to a friend. Thanks, guys. Amazing.
Love you. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.